Hi folks, and welcome to the Filmberg channel, and this time from my favorite heath in the forest again. Weather's not ideal, but it's also not crappy. It's dry, and that's the thing. And I'm at my favorite bushcraft site, and I thought I should show you something. Um, First, another nice project to carve with your kids or with kids in general, and maybe that's something you will find useful yourself. And I'm talking about making yourself a nice ranger staff or a hiking staff or something like that. Now I've seen a lot of videos on the internet, and actually it's sometimes it's about self-defense, and I'm I'm not a big advocate of that martial talk at all, but there's no mistaking the fact that the staff is a really awesome method for defending yourself, because even someone who isn't trained with it can keep a distance to someone who is attacking like that. And the thing is that you don't need to apply lethal techniques with a staff. But that's about self-defense. Staff has a million of uses, and self-defense is just... I never had to defend myself in earnest with a staff. And at one time, it was a little story I want to share with you, that there was something going on in the forest, and I thought, well, there are some wolves around here, or sightings of wolves. I've seen something like that once, but I'm not quite sure either. And wolves will actually go away, but I didn't want to risk it at all. It was go home through the city. Big mistake. I don't like the city at all, and it was dark, and it was really late, but I had my blackthorn staff. I will show you in another video. You might find fumbling for words again. You might find that interesting too, but and I was like, and then from the bushes out popped some rather sinister looking guy, and he was actually stalking me, and was like, well, okay, don't be a victim, measure your stride. And I wasn't going faster, I was going slower, but he was always behind me, and then he was beside me, and I was like, well, don't look at him straight, and don't make him any more aggressive or something like that. And and he saw my staff, and well, it's looking mean. And he was like, wow, what's that? And I was like, well, I was on a hike, and this is my hiking staff, and he was coming from Syria, which I learned afterwards. And actually, we got into talking, and he asked about my hiking stuff, and we sat down at a bus stop. Last bus was long gone, but we sat down, and he told me his story, and I told mine as far as I wanted. and wanted to share. And well, that's that's a story of self-defense with a hiking staff that I really want to share with you. And I'm not completely serious, of course, because well, there might be an occasion where you might need your staff for self-defense. Okay, I don't know. I never had to really defend myself in earnest with a staff and against humans. And it can be, if you're in a stressy situation and you aim for the head, it can be lethal. Don't do this. Don't think about your staff as a primarily as a weapon. Actually, what I wanted to say with my little anecdotal story, of course, is, well, maybe it's not always that you need to pull out the big guns. If you're not constantly in stress because you think about what will happen and that sinister guy and he's from Syria and whatnot. It's a human being. And there's a reason why he's looking mean to you and gives you a hard stare. I learned that afterwards. He had a really shitty life, and well, I could relate to that. And we talked about that. And when I told him some numbers he could call, and that was about it. You need some nerves for that. Don't freak out and don't be a victim. That's the thing. But well, we didn't need to go in a brawl, all out, knives out and stuff. We talked, and that was a situation where I was being a little bit afraid. But that said, there are other uses for a staff. It can come in really handy in the forest if you want to look into the brushes and you move some branches away, or probe for your footing, or getting stuff from high above down, bending branches down if there are fruit on them, and you can go like this and take down some fruit if you want to, or forage for something else. You can even harvest chaga with it. You can dig for roots with it, and it is great for your balance. If you are wanting to try walking barefoot, which I can really recommend to connect with the ground, obviously, it is a great aid to find your footage and your balance, because most of the time we are no longer accustomed to that, and so it is a nice aid to get into it, and a million of other uses. If you, I will craft ranger staff with you later on. This one is just for starters. It's just something just a nice hiking staff. But you can also make a really awesome aid if you are a ranger of or Boy Scout or something. It's a really, and I will make later on a stick after Baden Powell too. But that said, I recently saw people making staffs from what have you. They use birch, they use basswood, they use a lot of woods, and nothing wrong with that. But I want to emphasize that birch, for instance, is not a hardwood. It's something that is really awesome to carve if you want to make spoons, or if you want to make dishes from it. It's also antibacterial in a certain to a certain degree, obviously. But it has its properties, but I don't think it's the best wood you can do in a pinch. It's okay. That's not the thing. And if you want to use your stuff for hiking, personally, I really love blackthorn. I got some blackthorn sticks I made myself, and I really love them. They got their heft, they got their weight, they are really sturdy and dead reliable, really great. And but uh, processing blackthorn is a really long process, and you need to be very careful in every step. And so it's not a really beginner-friendly wood. Another wood is ash, but I don't recommend you take ash from the woods. You can always get yourself a broom handle from the hardware store and use that. That's I'll make a video about that too, or some Pulaski's handle or handle of a hoe or something. You can get those that cheap on a flea market. You just take care of that they aren't too rotten. But one thing with the ash, don't take the ash from the forest because due to climate change they are getting increasingly rare, and so it's nothing that your life depends on. It's really ash is an awesome wood, and especially for staffs and for hiking staffs and for utilities like that, tool handles and ash is a really great wood for that, because what you are looking for is a wood with a long grain, meaning if you're looking at the grain, that you want the fibers to be rather long, and because the longer they are, if I break this up, there's green wood of course, and you see the fibers are not immediately coming apart. They are rather long, like that, and so this aids structural integrity because they cling to each other like that, and even if there would be a microfracture, it's not probable that the stuff will break all at once. With shorter wood like beech or something, this might be a problem. Hazel is my wood of choice because hazel has said long grain. It is really unproblematic when drying, and doesn't bend easily any which way, which blackthorn does. And and that's a really an asset, and it looks like, well, if it's fresh, you can just tear it apart. It's just it's soft and fluffy, and you can even make cordage from it like that. And obviously it's not something for sewing your socks, but you can use it for making some rings for a TP or something. I can show you one I made. Like that, you can make a tripod. It's just, and look at that. It's just, if you get some green wood, that's perfectly doable. These properties are lending themselves if you get a diameter of suitable stuff. It's it's really it's really well, it's resilient, and traditionally it is a wood pretty much used for hiking staffs in the Alps region. The so-called Bergstange is often made from hazel, and if you cut your staff with what you really need, actually, is a Swiss Army knife, like mine. What you want to do is you want to put some kind of carve a little bit of rounding on both ends before drying, because that way the bark doesn't come like that. See, there the bark is coming off there because just it fell down, and carve that off. And also this lends itself to the staff being less prone to cracking. And you can, if there is a fracture like that, you can remove that. Sometimes they tend to break if you cut that, cut the wood off the tree, so that's you want to remove that before drying. Well, that said, the wood is awesome in another aspect, because it is really resilient. The tree is really resilient. It is not prone to die off if you take one branch. Play sensible. And I took mine from a height of about this height, because the tree will regenerate itself if you just set it on stock. And hazel is a little bit like willow. It's just it just grows back all right if you do this. If you want to carve a staff, don't be as silly as I was. When I was starting carving, I'll go a little bit around because I think you can't see me that great. That might be better. I was constantly taking these diameters, and you see this on the Ren fairs, those guys with the wizard staffs, and they are trees, they are not staffs. As a rule of thumb, if your staff is slightly thicker than your thumb, you would be fine. And this is don't take one that is too thick, because you're the one who needs to carry it around. And actually, if I wanted to use it now, I would be really, really fine. What I like to do, and this is awesome if you want to do this with, if you're doing this with children, I add some details. And thing is, you can try to carve in something new on every hike. So as a souvenir, maybe you have seen a little bird, or you have seen a deer or a fox or whatever, and you carve that into your stick. That's a great idea for kids. They love it. And so your stick grows with your experience. And what you can do is, and that makes that really cool for kids, because you don't need to use a lot of force, and you can just remove the bark a little bit, and just like that you have you can carve in a little decor into the bark. My father used to carve with me fancy designs into the bark, and adding spirals, or just some strip, removing one strip of bark around the diameter towards the tip, and just like that you can make it your own. And as I said, I like to carve in a little design every day when I'm hiking, and whatever I encountered on that day, I can add to the stick. So this stick is pretty much a process, and will not be the last you have seen about that. I will leave it here, and I will add, the first thing I will do, I will add a tip to it, and that'll be another video. And this is a journey, and I would love if you understood it that way. It's just a nice project going on, and the staff is a really valuable thing. And well, you can also make some funny gymnastics. It's not, and it's well, it's not bullshit-o, but it's fun. It's you can move around, and it's a little bit of a dance, and that's not it's not martial arts, by the way. No, I don't claim that. It's stuff can have a million of uses. Make your own, and I hope to provide you with some inspiration about making yourself a nice hiking stuff. So that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will come back to you as soon as possible. Take care, bye.